Welcome creators, artists, smart professionals, and all those ready to take action and create a passion-centered lifestyle. This is another episode of the Creative Action Podcast. I'm your host, Bruno Flo. I dedicate my entire life to the mastery of my craft. From producing video games, music albums, and films, to creating websites, business projects, and marketing strategies. I'm also a martial artist, long-term meditator, and professional coach. As a creator or artist, your unique perspective sets you apart. I'm committed to help you on your path towards your own creative vision, while sharing with you how to avoid the common traps that lead to existential anxiety, low energy, and burnout. Let's unlock greater levels of flow, freedom, and fulfillment together. Okay, welcome to another episode of the Creative Action Podcast with Bruno Flo. It's great to have you here right now listening to this chapter, to this episode, which is centered around this dilemma of diving in or not diving in, to dive in or not to dive in. How can you solve this dilemma? How can you solve it? Yeah, I'm saying, okay, dilemma, let's see.
Dilemma.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, this is all the time. Dilemma. Okay, yeah, let's solve this dilemma of diving in or not diving in into this project that you have in mind. You probably have this creative project, which may be a broad project, like changing your lifestyle completely, like traveling or start working from a different place, or you had to quit your job, quit a relationship. You had to make big moves around this new kind of life you want to live, or maybe this one project that you really desire, that your current lifestyle is not enabling you to do it, and you need also to do some tweaks around your life. But what's the problem with this? The problem is that probably you are hearing right now this podcast because you are obstructed by doubt, or maybe you have some emotions right there. If this is the case, if you are feeling fear, if you are feeling like stuck, and you are not able to move forward in the way that you would like to do it, maybe you are grappling with what we can call a trust problem. This is like an emotional barrier you are right now having that can manifest as fear and can prevent you from taking the necessary steps you need to take. So in this chapter, we are going to explore the intricacies of this trust problem and the impact it has on your ability to achieve your desired results. Fear and doubt can be addressed, and that can be done with a holistic approach, in which we are going to include logic and emotions. If you integrate both aspects, your logic and your emotions, you will be able to recognize what is truly important for you, and you will be able to cultivate the trust you need to navigate those challenges. So diving into whatever it is that you really and truly desire, at its core is an act of profound trust. Trust that you can do this, trust that the plan is good enough, trust about the information you have gathered about your plan, trust about you being on the right path, trust about making the right decisions. Trust is traditionally defined as, I'm taking this definition from the Oxford Dictionary, as a firm belief in the reliability, truth, or ability of someone or something. It's cool. I mean, it's a bit limited, I know, but it's highlighting one thing that I think is very important, which is that trust is a firm belief. Trust is a firm belief. A firm belief in reliability, truth, or ability of someone or something. Trust is a firm belief. So, being able to dive into this desired project and start reaping your desired results is matter of firmly believing in that you can do it, in that the plan is okay, that the world will support you when you do this. It's a matter of belief. because trust is about belief. And when you lack trust, you experience fear, you experience doubt. So we're going to check the role of logic, the role of emotion, and how can both of these areas collaborate together into a superior approach, not only logical, not only emotional, an holistic approach. So we are going to see first the role of logic, which is organizing, planning, and mapping. Yeah, if you are looking at the video, you will see me drinking a strange thing. This thing is called mate. We drink this in Argentina, and I'm addicted to this. This is a very beautiful thing to have and enjoy when you are working. Or it's not a drug. It's not a drug. It has a sour taste, and you can add sugar if you want. I don't add sugar. I like it just as it is. Well, okay, let's continue. The role of logic: organizing, planning, and mapping. So, if you're like me, I am a coder. I'm developing a video game right now. I'm a very analytical person. If you're like me, the first thing you will do is the logical approach. And if you take this route, you will find yourself doing some of the following. Like, you will be defining goals. You will try to define them in a specific way, in a measurable way, attainable way, in a relevant way. You're going to put deadlines on your goals and try to understand its real life implications, both in the material, emotional level. You will want to know your goals if you are a logical person. No? If you are using all the tools that your logic can provide. Also, you will elaborate a plan. You will start from the desired result, and you will reverse engineer the plan from your current position to your desired destination, milestone by milestone. You will also do this. Also, you will make a list probably of all your resources, organizing your time, your actions, your team, everything in the most effective way and controlled way you can. And also, you will be collecting accurate information from various sources, predicting possible problems, creating contingency plans. These are all the things that you will be doing using a logic-based approach. While this approach is amazing and establishes a solid foundation and a well-constructed map before diving into whatever it is that you want to dive in, it has some inner limitations which are worth mentioning. Like, the first one is called prioritization challenge. The second one is a limitation about predicting the unknown territory. And the third one is a limitation about innovation and adaptation. So, prioritization challenge means that logic isn't able to prioritize on a deep level, because logic is always conditioned by the emotional context and the set of value systems and belief systems you have as a starting point. So that's the reason logic cannot prioritize. I'm going to expand a bit more about this because you may be wondering, hey, how can I not prioritize with logic? It's something I do all the time. Well, yes, it seems like you're prioritizing, but in a logical level, but I'm gonna get into that. So the second point, predicting unknown territory, because logic isn't able to evaluate and predict the vast unknown, because life's infinite possibilities are too complex for our limited minds. So this is another limitation of your logical based approach. And the third limitation is about innovation and adaptation. This is not I don't want to be like I'm not saying laws here. These are precisions on certain case scenarios. Logic by nature tends to preserve existing knowledge and routines. It's conservative logic. It hinders innovative thinking and adaptation to new paradigms, because logic wants to prolong what's already there. That's maybe a generalization, but maybe you resonate with it and maybe you can use this observation in a productive way. So I'm going to expand about the three limitations of the logic-based approach towards building trust for yourself. Okay, limitation number 1, prioritization challenge. You might be wondering, how is it that logic cannot perform deep prioritization? Logic cannot define what is valuable to you. Logic will prioritize from a starting emotional context and system of values. This is because logic cannot escape from these things. They happen before. The fact that you have some goal or that you have something that is important for you is not because you made a logic decision around that. It's because there is something emotional inside you that is telling you, oh, I like this, or oh, I want this. It's something that happens before. In example, let's say you cannot force yourself logically to value anything, like let's say eating healthy. If you don't see the value in the long term of eating healthy, you can do all the logical things, you can weigh the pros and cons, but if you are not attracted to the value of the feeling or quality of being healthy, you will not do it. It's just like that. In an ultimate aspect, there is no logical necessity for you to do anything. There is no logical need for you to do anything at all, not even surviving. Surviving is not something logical. It's something that happens before in your consciousness. There is an inner drive, an instinctive, an emotional thing that guides you, that says to you, you have to survive, you have to live. This will to live. This is a different level. We can say it's the reptilian mind. I don't know. It's something that happens before. This means that even if you create the perfect logical plan, if the value of following this path isn't truly experienced inside you, you will not follow it. You cannot fake this. The emotional mind is one layer deeper than the logical mind. So, well, you see when some friends or some people, they say, oh yeah, this year they do like a new year resolution. Oh, this year I'm going to lose 20 kilograms. I don't know, they put like some goal like that, and this in general is a logic based approach, because who says that you had to put a goal at the end of the year? It's like the logical thing, it's trendy, is what everyone else is doing, is preserving the status quo of doing that every time the year is finishing. So it's very probable that will be doing that in a logic based approach. Sometimes not, sometimes you really know what you want and you just decide to do it at the end of the year. But generally speaking, it's fake, it's something a bit forced, it's not something that you truly value in a conscious way. So you need to feel the importance of your goals in a deep way inside you. And then after that, take action. So this limit number 1. Limitation number 2. Predicting unknown territory. Second limitation on logic. Logic cannot cover the vast unknown. When you design plans, like anticipatory plans or whatever, you cannot cover everything. Life is too complex. You cannot logically evaluate and sort every cause and effect relationship. The universe is unpredictable at the end. Even though we have science and everything, you cannot predict on a personal level what's going to happen. You can have a plan B, plan C, plan D, but even while doing this, there is always room for uncertainty. Always. Always. This is an inescapable truth. This is unavoidable. You should accept this right now. Right now. You cannot escape uncertainty through logic. Record this on your mind, and I say this to myself also. I cannot escape uncertainty through logic. it's impossible. So overly relying on information and logic is a mistake when you want to diminish this fear of taking action. It can help you, of course it can help you, but only to a certain point. There is a point in which you need to tolerate the fear and act with discipline in spite of the fear. Fear is just an emotion, it's not necessarily the truth. It's just a mechanism. It's something that it has been happening since we are cavemen. It's alerting you about some possible danger in the future, but it's not 100% accurate. Acting while having fear is the only possible way to achieve your dream lifestyle. So that's the second limitation of the logic, predicting unknown territory. Limitation number 3, innovation and adaptation. Logic tends to preserve what is known and reasonable. Logic may want things to happen in a way that makes sense, like creating a prolongation on what's already true, preserving the status quo. Sometimes logic can be cliché in this sense, with these suggestions it makes to you, and you may feel that they are not accurate. An example, when you're on vacations, maybe your mind is telling you that you should be maximizing your time on the beach and be at the beach the whole day because this is your opportunity to be there. Or maybe you don't feel like going to the beach because inside you know that you don't have any obligation to do anything. That fear of missing out is a social fear and it's not yours. Or maybe, the thought that you should be slim and fit. Let's suppose you are not exercising. You stop exercising by any reason. So when something is like lagging behind, it's like in your head you have like, okay, I exercise, I doing this, doing that. When something starts to fall back, your mind will tell you, oh no, you need to revamp it. You need to put it back to its to the level it used to have. But at the end, your emotions tell you that it is not important, you will not do it. Even if your logic tells you, maybe you try to revamp it and you go to exercise, but it's not truly important for you. You are not experiencing the value of it. You are not believing that it's important for you. Logic tends to think in absolute terms, like, should I do X or should I do Z? Implying several things like that. Well, first, that you should do something. You don't have to do anything. You don't have any obligation to do anything. You only yourself can decide what you see that you want to do, but in an absolute sense, the universe is not going to obligate you to do anything. You could be at your bed the whole day, and eventually people are going to accept that, and eventually you are going to die in the bed, and you don't have any need to do anything in an absolute sense. All the needs come from inside you. So yeah, you should not do anything necessarily. Yeah, you have ethics, blah blah, but ethics are happening in the mind, are social things. So you shouldn't do anything if we are talking in absolute terms. Also, thinking in terms of should I do X or should I do Y, that means that you are thinking that there are only two options and that there is only one right thing to do. That's very limited. Also, that if you do X, you cannot do Y never again. That's another trap of logic. So this way of asking questions, should I do X, should I do Z, it tends to come from this logic-based approach. It speaks about how you are perceiving reality at the present moment. If you say, should I do X or should I do Y, that will give you a sense of anxiety, a sense of restriction. It comes packaged with a certain feeling, a certain way of framing the problem. But what if you ask, what do I want to experience? That's different. You will notice a difference. Like, oh, It's like you have more power. I can decide what I want to experience. It's not that I should do X, like some force superior to me is making me do something in an obligated way. So even though logic has its limitations, it can be useful to create an integral plan which aids you to move forward in a thoughtful way, being gentle with yourself. You can provide yourself a map or a guide in order to feel safer. You can feed your logical mind with the evidence it needs so you can start building this new set of beliefs you need for diving into what is it that you need to dive in. One set of beliefs that helps you to move forward with confidence. However, we say that logic cannot prioritize or value things. You will need to be emotionally attuned to recognize the value of what you are pursuing. If not, you will not be able to decide, nor commit, nor act on it. Also, logic will never eradicate uncertainty completely, as there is this combinatory explosion of possibilities in the vast unknown space of reality. You cannot cover everything. You will need to eventually build up this sense of urgency and take action. After exposing these benefits and limitations of a logic-based approach towards creating trust, we remain with one problem. How can you know if the path you are taking is right for you? How can you know if you can do this? How can you know that your plan is right? In order to be able to decide what is right for you, you need to know what is relevant for you right now. What's truly valuable for you right now? What's truly valuable for you in the future? You cannot answer this strictly from your head. You need to get deeper inside you and feel that emotion that tells you, oh, this feels good, this feels bad. You have to be connected with that, with the desire. So this is the role of emotion, the role of assigning value. Trusting emotions in general has a bad reputation in self-development circles. Yeah. After all, sometimes when you follow your emotions in a blind way, this may lead you to watch Netflix the whole night and eating infinite amounts of chocolate ice cream. So even though this may happen, generally speaking, we don't perceive the role of emotions when good decisions happen. We only perceive the role of emotion when you're procrastinating and having binging habits. But sometimes, obviously, emotions are present when you take good decisions also, because emotions play a big role in your decision-making process. They are connected to you in a way more deeper than logic. Emotions exist before any language ever exists. We normally assume emotions as more truthful than a perfectly logical and articulated statement. If I say, oh, I feel super happy, I feel great, you will not believe me because I have a straight face, I have this monotonous voice, and my body and my emotions will tell you, and my voice will tell you that something that is more truthful than the actual content of the words. So it doesn't matter how logical or how data-driven you conceive yourself to be, all your choices are ultimately emotional. All your choices are ultimately emotional, because you can only perceive value through emotion. You can only know what's important for you through emotions. You only do things because you want to feel in a certain way. Sometimes it happens that we prioritize short-term pleasure, short-term happiness, like when you're a little kid and you want to eat chocolate ice cream all day. If it were for you, it would be eating chocolate ice cream. You would not care. I'm with the chocolate ice cream thing. I think I'm gonna get a chocolate ice cream after this. So we need experience, education, emotional intelligence to recognize that this happiness it has lower quality, the happiness of the ice cream, no? And it's detrimental for our long-term well-being. You eat chocolate ice cream whole day, you are gonna die because you cannot live from chocolate ice cream, even though it's delicious. Even the decision of taking disciplined action and acting in spite of fear and uncertainty is emotional. But this is deeper, it's more tricky, because you are being guided not by the promise of an immediate emotion, but by the promise of something better than the short-term pleasure, which will be everlasting satisfaction and long-term well-being. So this means that it doesn't make sense to be disciplined, at least if what you are pursuing is more valuable than the pain you are overcoming. I will say it again, it doesn't make sense to be disciplined if what you are pursuing is not more valuable than the pain you are overcoming. You need a good reason to be disciplined. If you don't have a good reason, you are not gonna be disciplined. You will not see benefit from the pain of doing the thing. You need to see some benefit. You need to have that certainty inside you. If not, you are not going to be disciplined. So there is this challenge of balancing logic and emotions. If you are too much into using your emotions as a source of information, you may be limiting yourself unnecessarily, because you will be listening to your fear, even when your beliefs or your lack of trust are not founded and are not rooted in reality. And also, if you are only using your logic as a source of information, you may be limiting yourself, because you will be trying to maintain a status quo that makes you unhappy, or you will struggle to take action because you will have an inner dissonance between what you say you want, what is right, like, I don't know, getting a new car, versus what you truly want. And maybe you want to drive any car, you're tired of it, but the logical thing will be to have a better car, I don't know. So if you want to create a passion-centered lifestyle and live with a creative purpose, you will need to integrate logic and emotion. You need to create an exemplar, reasonable plan, gather the resources, learn the necessary skills, organize yourself. But also you will need to be in tune with your heart, really listening to what is it that you want at a core level, what's valuable to you, in a way more deeper than the truths of social conditioning, way more deeper than your own insecurities, way more deeper than what you currently believe it's true and achievable. You need to go deep inside you. If not, yeah, you can bypass your emotions. You can force your way through, but this is a mistake. At least in my own first-hand experience and what I see in the people, what they do. Even though discipline is an important part of emotional mastery, of course, bypassing your emotions, and it's a recipe for disaster, because you will be pursuing what you think is valuable for you, and you will be disciplined pursuing that. But remember, you don't make value judgments out of your logical mind. Your values are something that comes out of a deep place within yourself, within your system of values and beliefs. And this is a classical confusion. You think that you want something, your head is telling you a story about how good it is, a rationalization, but at core, a deep emotional level, you feel it's not truly fulfilling. You aren't truly resonating with it. Maybe you are pursuing it in an effort to escape an anxiety you feel, or a nagging sense of emptiness that you feel inside you, and you don't want to look at it because it's too dark to look at it. So you are doing these things that are logically right. So what to do? Deciding by logic is not good enough. Also, relying only on emotions is a good approach, because it will give you sometimes false alarms, and it may trick you into pursuing short-term pleasure. And at the same time, you have all this social conditioning that has said to you what's acceptable, what's not. You have media wanting to manipulate you, instilling in you fears and desires by pushing your buttons, making you trigger and react. So you need this balanced approach that gives you the possibility to protect yourself from all this and also take care of yourself and make the most out of your life. An approach that considers what you truly desire at a deep level and not only on a surface logical level. An approach that protects you from the bullshit that you will listen from. Even loved beings, even not loved beings, because everybody is gonna have an opinion about what you do and about what you're pursuing. Family, friends, partners, neutral people, neighbors, they will judge you, and you need to be protected from that. So this holistic approach is about integrating the emotional part, the logical part of you, and creating a meaning platform. So I want to talk about this meaning platform you are going to start to build for yourself. John Vervaeke, I want to mention this scientist. He's a cognitive scientist, creator of the Awakening to the Meaning Crisis series in YouTube, which I strongly recommend. It's a bit long, but it's good. It's full of gold nuggets inside all the series. He speaks about a process. His concept is called relevance realization. Relevance realization. This refers to the cognitive process by which individuals, through their mind and bodies, dynamically determine what is relevant in their experience. It's the dynamic determination of what is important and relevant, second by second. This plays a crucial role, obviously, in how we shape our perception, our decision making, and understanding of the world. Relevance realization is not a static or fixed phenomenon. Instead, it's a dynamic and ongoing process. It involves continuous interaction between cognitive, emotional, bodily, and environmental factors, including values, beliefs, emotions, physical sensations, the context in which you are right now. The values you assign to things, which are beliefs and interpretations, the values you assign, good, bad, delicious, not delicious, are ever changing. Your emotions, your body, environment also are changing all the time. The relevance and values you assign to things in your life, like your dreams, your family, your material stuff, the foods you eat, all is subject to change. They are all flowing in this ever-changing river of reality. Now, Heraclitus will be happy about this phrase. Yeah, Heraclitus was this Greek philosopher that says that you cannot bathe yourself in the same river twice, because the river is ever changing. It's a metaphor that everything is impermanent and changing all the time. So the modern citizens goes through life with all the belief systems inherited by other people's expectations and what you think is logically right, and this craving for short-term pleasure. So what I'm proposing to you, if you want to truly know what's relevant for you on a deeper level, a truthful level, you should aim to embrace this process of relevance realization in the most conscious way you can. You need to look to generate situations in which the body-mind can obtain real-time feedback about what's truly important and relevant for you on this deeper level. We're talking here about using all your resources for this, articulating your logic, your emotions in an open-minded way, and taking action in order to progressively nurture clarity about what's truly important and has great meaning for you. It is an investment. If you invest on this, you will create a platform that will allow you to navigate life with a sense of inner wisdom, confidence, you will know what's important for you. You will be these persons that people say, this guy knows what he wants. Well, yeah, it's that you have this platform of meaning, which you know what's important for you. So if you get to the point of understanding first emotionally and then logically what's truly important for you, and knowing that you need to take X, Y, and Z steps to get to that place, even though you know you may encounter challenges, failures, and all sorts of obstacles, you will gain a new sense of confidence, a new voice inside you telling you that you are doing the right thing, that this is the best thing you can do, and that there is no other possible way to live but by following this truth. You will see clearly that failing, quote unquote, is a child's game in comparison to the meaning and worth you are pursuing. This is bigger, is higher. This holistic approach will help you to craft your own map based on first-hand experience. The more consciously you create this map, the more you will trust in it. Yes, because you have been building this map until now, but you have been doing it in an unconscious way. You have this map of meaning that is inherited. You need to recreate it so you know that you put a lot of effort on it and that it is well made. It's made by you and for you. Recreation of this map implies exploration, self-reflection, action, letting go, reframing, helping others, and more probably. This will give you trust, and this trust will give you the foundation to move forward with confidence and enthusiasm towards a desired outcome. So, well, we have exposed here how logic and how emotion can, when articulated properly, be used to generate this map of meaning that helps you to make good decisions. You, with the help of emotions, you determine what's important for you, and with the help of logic, you articulate that information into actionable steps and plans and strategy. In this process in which you discover what's important for you and you create a plan to discover that, you create a map and you start to create your own platform of meaning and your own compass to guide you towards your unique sense of purpose and passion. So even though you can create your own map of meaning through this holistic approach based on logic and emotional intelligence, at the end, what is for sure is that if you want to learn more about what's truly important for you at the core, there is one single priority that you should be aiming for. That priority is taking action. Why? Because if you take action, you will, 1, refine your relevance map. You will be exploring, gaining first-hand experience. You will know what's truly important for you. Refining your relevance map with first-hand experience is invaluable because there is no expert advice that can replace that experience. It's yours. Number 2, we will practice emotional intelligence also. Taking action will give you opportunities to face your fears and move towards it. Developing emotional awareness and resilience. Also, 3, you will practice your logic-based skills. While taking action, you can practice skills like strategy, like planning, like anticipating problems, organizing, all the logic things you can do. Also, number 4, you will gain confidence. You will start to see smart results. If you take action, you will see results. Probably not 100% right, but you will see something. And you will be able to start iterating your process and create this feedback loop in which you gain confidence, you achieve, and you start to see that you can achieve your goal. Last, you will learn self-mastery and discipline, because you will learn how to progressively act on things that are fearful to you. You will learn to cope with the discomfort and anxiety previous to performance. So what I suggest is that the best and most efficient way to learn if you should dive in or not dive in some project or aspect in your life is by doing controlled diving. You have to dive in a controlled way, testing what happens, and then after that deciding, having more first-hand experience and information if you want to dive in to a higher level or not. So you need to explore. You need to embark on journeys that enrich your map, and you need to be actively evaluating with this balanced, emotional and logical approach if these experiences are valuable to you. You need to understand what is it that you truly value, what is it that truly orders your consciousness in a fulfilling way. After that, you can take action, you can baby step your process of taking action. You start by small things, little by little you start upgrading your efforts, iterating and seeing in real time what you feel, getting confidence, getting momentum. That's the thing. You can journal all day, you can listen to podcasts all day, you can try to create a perfect map, logic-based map with the perfect strategy or the perfect relevance map, you knowing exactly what's important for you. But if you don't take action, you will never know if this is the right path for you. You need to contrast what's happening in your inner world with what's outside there. You need to get out of your mind, all your head for a bit. Okay, and even if you are doing self-reflection and tuning into your emotions, you are still inside you. You are not putting yourself out there. So the faster you take action, the more faster you will realize if this feels right. So I encourage you to do all this. I encourage you to explore what is truly important for you, tune into your emotions, look for your own deep meaning, do self-reflection, create vision statements, mission statements, value statements, experiment. And this leads to the next step, which is plan a controlled dive in, compare approach, look for information, listen to podcasts like right now, write checklists, write plans, try to approach this chosen mission in the most smart way and start small with it. Then after planning, execute this dive, control dive. Even though you will not be 100% clear, and you will have a lot of doubts about your planning, you need to start taking action. Start taking action and create this feedback loop between your reality and this map that you are building. If you have a hunch that some path might be worth taking, start exploring it. Do it deliberately to progressively create confidence and answer all the questions you have, and eventually make bigger commitments. Finally, you need to review your performance, check what you learned from the process, see if you discover more things about what's important for you, what emotions did you feel, what could be improved from a strategical planning perspective. So, well, we are reaching the end of this episode. To dive in or not to dive in. And this is a false dichotomy, because you can explore doing a controlled diving before diving in, and you should do it. You should explore first. I assure you that if you follow what has been said on this episode, eventually you will be able to get to a point in which you will need to take a leap. Yes, you will not be able to bypass that moment of courage. You will need to experience that by yourself. There is no other way. You will need to, at some point, have faith in that you will be okay, and in that moment you will need to grab all your resources, all your map of meaning, and extract from it courage and transmute it into energy to move forward. So I assure you that will happen, but also I assure you that If you embrace this philosophy of taking action and creating this map with this balanced approach, eventually you will know that you will be perfectly fine. You will trust in your sharp logic, being able to handle everything and help you not to die in the process. You will not die, you will be okay. Also, you will develop your emotional intelligence. This will help you recognize long-term value and ditch the short-term cravings and rejections. Also, this conscious action you are taking will progressively introduce you towards a path of mastery and self-discipline. Your new learnings will lead you towards a new level of meaning and a new way to live. You will be at peace, pursuing what you truly deserve, and knowing you are doing your best. Thanks for listening. Like what you heard today? Then remember, real transformation only happens when you take creative action. Curious about the possibility of crafting a passion-centered lifestyle with me and my team? Visit brunoflow.com/clarity and apply for a free clarity session call.